And I'll start off by saying, hey, welcome to today's Thursday, August 11th. We're into the second day of school as we do more of the explaining stuff. For those of you playing the home game, hi. It will record your voices, like when you talk, so it has like a little microphone on it. It's like a boom mic that picks up the things. Don't be the idiot child who's like, hi, and it just yells out loud, because then I have to be mean to you. The good news, though, it does pick up when I have to yell at you, because then when I have to send it to your parents, I can just send them a link. You should watch today's. I yelled at your child 4 times, and they can have it right on there. So just giving you the heads up. It all sounds fun in games until you realize video evidence of you being an idiot. And so it comes back to watching. All right, let's see. Things to cover. We said yesterday. Once again, with your iPad, hopefully you've done something to make it so that we can get back to you. And with the whole locker, make sure you have a way of getting your information. If not, they're going to send you to me. And I'm just waiting for that first kid to get sent to me so that I can ask, where's your information, so that the mocking can begin. Was this helpful to you yesterday, being able to go and look up? Kelsey, in the hallways, you notice there's 4 doorways. They all look the same, because whoever designed the school hates children. If you look above the doorways, there's signs that will tell you what's down there. So hopefully as you guys walked around, you were able to look down there and be like, oh, Mr. Brovicast, your heart's not evil. It is. That was just my first couple days. It's kind of nice. And then you probably saw like the Globetrotters and Stars, who had no idea, like they're like walking into walls and bumping into things. You're like, oh, those poor children. So you'll notice the difference. You can help them. It's being nice. Same thing. And then the red one's also the bus hallway if you're trying to figure out how to get out, because I had a couple of kids yesterday who were like using different hallways, like, I'm outside, but I don't know where to go. The red one takes you out to the buses too. Ooh, the Heroes Hall Pass that I gave you, the quick review that we have going into it. Herbert, name one of the 3 classes you can use that hall pass in.
Science.
Works for me. Don't you try and steal his answer. Taylor, since he stole your answer, name another class.
Math.
Nice. No. But a good try. Not math. That would work. Not the easiest answer I thought you'd go with, because there's even one even easier than that, but I like you trying to step up for the hard one there. Liam?
English.
Yeah, I thought you'd go for English, because I'm the guy that gave it to you. But yeah, so English, social studies, and science, you can use it in any of those 3 classes. Smalls. How many times can you use that pass before it's all used up? Yeah.
3.
Works for me. Nice of them. And then we'll go to Kennedy. When will you get a new set of passes? That is correct. You know what month that's in? That is very honest of you. I like the boldness of that answer. If you have no idea, you might as well throw it. Does anyone know when the new 9 week starts, what month it's in? Here's a hint. You only have 12 options. That's cool. You have 11 options. August is not one of them, because that's when the first 9 week starts. Bailey?
December?
No, but a good guess also. I like your confidence in your wrong answer. I will definitely back you up on that. Dylan?
October.
Nicely done. I know that's done. One of the things that I will get to in my class is, even if you're completely wrong, be confident in your wrongness. It's one of the things I'm going to beat into you throughout the year, teach you throughout the year. Is that even if you have no idea, be confident. And you're like, oh, January! Like, no, that's completely wrong. Well, I was confident. Yes, you were. And if you're going to be wrong, at least be confident about your wrongness. If you ask me with your answer, because your voice goes up, I'm probably going to attack you. Even if you're correct, you go, October? I'm like, I don't know. Do you know what October is? I don't know. Well, then now you're just asking me to come at you. So be confident. Oh, Mr. Bovey, I guess the second day, and you're scaring me. Did it just disappear? No, it's back. Okay.
It's gone again.
Did I talk about the high-pitched squeaky voice yesterday?
Yeah.
Making sure. Some of my classes I forgot, and they're just like staring at me the entire time, so I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to get into that. Yes, Dylan?
It's gone again.
I did that on purpose. I realized it was me. I have issues. There's a button I hit. I was like, oh yeah, I made it go. It's been a long day. The second period. Shh. Oh, my website, which we got to, the www.mrbroviac.com, which you can get into even deeper if you go into the more section. If you really want to like just waste a day, click on that, like, oh, there's so much there. There's other options that are up there that you can dig deeper into my life, which is a scary place to be. The YouTube button, that's where this video will be at the end of the day, and you can always go there to find it too. We covered that. You guys downloaded all of those things. Ooh, this is about where we had stopped with you guys yesterday. In order to not be tardy in my class, Joan, so that I don't have to yell at you at the beginning of class, what must you do to not make me go all angry at you? That is correct. Tush tush sitting in the chair. And although I failed you today, there's a second thing you have to do besides having tush tush in the seat. All right, Bailey.
Do what's up on the board.
It is correct. As long as you follow those directions up there, which I failed you today, I apologize. I shall try to keep my failures to a minimum. And so tomorrow when you come in, I will have directions up there for you to follow to see how well you do. And I had a kid, first period, they're like, not talk? Honestly, I don't care if you talk or not. As long as you followed my directions, I don't care if you sit. As long as you're sitting, and as long as you follow those directions, you can talk. Once I come in and start teaching, then the talking will have issues. But before then, I could care less. Knock yourself out. Follow my directions. More power to you. And then, did I talk about the end of class yet?
No.
All right. Then the other part of it, end of class. When the bell rings to end class, you might have picked up on this. I like to talk. Really good at it. So when that bell rings, just to get me to sort of wrap up, to get you guys to take off, don't just stand up to leave because it makes me feel all sad on the inside, like I'm not the most important thing in your life, and that's wrong because I should be the most important thing in your life, at least in here. So if you're wanting to leave my room at the end because you're really excited to go to third period because it's math or whatever, in order to fill my heart with enough love and overwhelm the love I already have of teaching, I need you to sit and smile at me. And if you all are sitting there and smiling at me, it overwhelms my little evil teacher heart with love, and I'll just get all giggly and be like, fine, and I'll let you guys take off. So sit, smile at me, overwhelms my heart, then I'll let you guys go, and you'll be good to go from there. Every once in a while, you'll have someone whose heart is not full of love, and the bell rings, and they're like, I want to go to science, and they just stand up and start walking out of my room, and you'll see my little teacher heart break. In order to help fill their heart with love, what I'll need you to do is to fill their heart with love. And you need to have the love flow from you into them. And the way that works is you need to smile and then point at them. And if we can have 27 of you all pointing at them and smiling, the love will flow from all of you into them. And you will see the love flow into them because you'll see it fill their body and their face will get all red. And that is the love flowing into them. And love is heavy because usually the immediate reaction is for them to sit down and cover their head because they've never been filled with this much love. And then once that happens, like, oh, now I'm full of love. Because look, the love is coming out of their eyes in little tears. And then I'll let you guys take off at that point. So it doesn't. Sometimes it takes a couple days, but don't take off. Just fill their heart with love, and we should be good. Don't laugh at them. That's bullying and mean. That's called being a jerk. So I don't want you to do that. It's just filling their heart with love. I mean, the laughter can come afterwards. You're like, I've never seen you have that much love before. You're like, I understand. And so that will be at the end of class. Now, one of the big things that happens in my class is, thank you, Liam, is what are called behavior points. It's the thing that you downloaded as a little piece of paper, or for those of you who have the paper version, it's that same thing, and it's that information that's on there. B points are what's going to help you survive my classroom. When I was a kid, back before dinosaurs, I didn't like it when the teachers would get grumpy and give a kid a detention, and it felt like it was just the teacher having a bad day, and that never seemed fair to me. I always thought it would be better that if you knew how close you were to a detention. So I created these things called behavior points. You will always know how close you are to a detention in my class. I never just go like, oh, it's a bad day, roar, and just like fire detentions off at kids. It's just not who I am. You have to work for a detention and know it's coming. And you'll usually have like a day or two preparation. Your behavior is getting you there, and you're like, I'm not going to stop. And so you'll know it ahead of time. All of you right now have what are called behavior points. You get 15. They're just free. But each 9 weeks, I'm going to give you a new set of behavior points. So Kennedy, what month will it be when you get a new set of behavior points? Wait, did you just ask me? I have no idea. What would be answer?
October.
Hey, good job. That's the confidence I'm looking for. So you don't get a new set of behavior points until October, and you get 15 added to whatever you had. So right now you have 15. If you don't lose any behavior points, in October, how many will you have?
30.
Good math skills. That should be on the I step. They're going to work it in there. But if you gain points, let's say you're a good kid and you rock it up to like 20 B points, and you're like, now I get to add 15. You shoot up to 35. Others of you are not so good. You're like, I was down to 2. And then we add 15. You're like, I rocketed up to 17. So that's just how math works out. As you lose B points, bad things will happen to you, and I will torture you in class. What do you mean by torture? We'll get there. And just like if you gain B points, good things happen to you, and you get rewarded in class. And so you'll always know your B points. I'll always tell you it's not like some magical secret. You get to keep track and know where you are and stuff like that. So this is the way to lose B points. All of this, which I'll explain as we go through it, can be summed up in 4 words. Don't be an idiot. Simple as that. That's just like in every class. Exactly. Don't be an idiot. You'll be good to go. First off, talking. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the most important thing in this room. I'm the king. You're my little peasants. I just sort of walk around like, you're so awesome. Like, I know. So you have to be paying attention to me at all times. If you start talking to someone else, that's your way of telling me you think they're more important than me. And that makes me sad. And so then I have to share my sadness with you by charging you points. So you can't talk to the same thing as you can't just talk to me, just rant like, I just like to talk. I like my own voice. I like to yell loud. That also means that you think you're more important than me. That's just wrong. And so I'll charge you points for that one. Then one of the issues that will happen is anytime 2 people talk, both of them lose points, regardless. I'm just going to randomly pick on Sydney and Taylor. So if Sydney were just to turn around and start talking to Taylor, even if Taylor's not talking, I'm going to charge Taylor points because Sydney's talking to her. Because here's the thing, I've learned there's these things called sneaky talkers. And for all I know, Taylor's like some kind of master ninja talker. And every time I look over there, she's like, I'm good. And I look this way, she's like, black, 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 halo. Black, black, halo. I'm like, I could never catch her. And Sydney's like, oh, she was talking to me, and I just turned around, and I got caught second. So as soon as someone talks to you, you also get in trouble. Mr. Brovicast, that's not fair. What do you mean? What if I'm a good kid and some idiot sits next to me and just keeps talking, and I'm going to get in trouble? That's a good point. To make it fair, there's a way to fix this. If you have an idiot child next to you that just keeps talking and won't shut their yapper, and you don't want to get in trouble, here's how you solve that problem. Take your hand, open it up, put it in their face. When I look over and I see Taylor going, and her whole other hand is up in Sydney's face, and I look over there and she's giving me like little puppy dog eyes and her hand is up, I'm like, oh, Taylor's a good kid. She's like, and now I don't have to charge her points. Simple as that. Now realize, not an idiot. You can't put your hand up and talk at the same time. So Taylor came like, hey, how you doing? Those are nice shoes. What's going on? And I look over, like, no, my hand is up. It's okay. It's not going to work that way. So if you're not talking, but the hand is up, I won't charge you points. Your biggest issue will be, some of you are going to have friends sitting next to you. And your friend's going to start talking to you. You're going to have to do what's called making a big kid choice. Because when your friend's talking to you, and I look over and catch you, you're going to lose points. But I don't want to lose points. Then you're going to have to throw your hand up in your friend's face. But that's going to make them feel bad. Yep, that's called a choice. Do you want to feel bad, or do you want them to feel bad? Oh yeah, that is a choice. Exactly. So you get to decide which way you want to go. And then sometimes there's that special kid that just like talks like a shotgun, like blah, 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 blah. And they just talk to everyone, and I'll look over and like 6 kids all have their hand in that one kid's face. Yeah, they're that special child. And so it makes it easy. So that's how I can sort of figure it out. Generally angering me. Anything you do that makes me want to come over and strangle you. Still not legal yet, so instead, I will charge you points. And so, and that could be any random number of things. You just like walk over, like knock kid stuff on the floor, and like, ah! And I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna. So how many points? It depends on who you are and what you do and stuff like that. Just like with the talking thing, that varies. Like when it says the -1 to all of your points, the more I like you, the fewer points I'm going to charge you. Because let's say for whatever reason, Ashley never talks. She's just like, I'm a good kid. And then one day she just turns over and she's like, Michael, you have wonderful shoes on. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm sorry. Okay, Ashley, don't do it again. Like, oh, all you did was warn her? And then Herbert gets mad. He's like, you yell at me all the time. Like, Herbert, 10 points, shut it. The reason being, I'm human. The more you make me like you, the nicer I'm going to be to you. The more you make me want to strangle you, the more points I'm going to charge you. Oh, Mr. Brovicast, that's not fair. Actually, that's the definition of fair. It's not equal. It shouldn't be equal. The gooder you are, did you use the word gooder? I did. The gooder you are, the nicer I'll be to you. The idioter you are, the meaner I'll be to you. Your goal is to be less idiot and more gooder. And it works out the same way. So the same thing with the generally angering me, depending on how high you are on my happy scale, the nicer I'll be to you. You guys are the same way. Think about it. You have teachers you like, and you have teachers you don't like. The teachers you don't like, I'm not doing your homework, and I'm going to kick your shoes, and I'm going to push your stuff because you don't like that person. You have others you're like, oh, you're crazy, but I kind of like you. And you do that person's homework because you like them. It's called being a human. I know I don't look like it sometimes, but I'm a human too. Shriveled black heart, but the outside of me is human. So, same idea. The main specific things on my force field, on the angering of me. Watch this. Over here, I have an 8th grade area. Did it work? It did. My 8th graders who have survived an entire year of my class and then come back to visit me, they get to write in my 8th grade area. They get to write in the small boxes, except for like the really special kids. They get to write in that big box over there. You're not that special. I don't like you that much yet. Someday I might, but now, no. So they get to write up there. You don't get to write up there. Nor do you get to erase anything that's up there either. Even if you disagree with it. If they write on there like, the Patriots are awesome. It's not their fault that they fell off a cliff and hit their head when they were a child. And like, the Patriots now, it's just the way it is. But you don't get to erase it. Unless it's like an attack on you. They're like, Joey JoJo's an idiot. And you're like, but I'm Joey JoJo. Then tell me, don't erase it, because then I'll track that kid down, and then I'll go attack an 8th grader. So don't you erase it, just tell me, and then I'll come after them. So no writing up there for you. The other area, that works, is around my desk. I have, well, behind my desk, wonderful, awesome stuff. And so these things back here, which will attract you like a moth is attracted to a bright flickering flame, is not for you. It's for me. It's my awesome stuff, and I have sharing issues. So to help me with my sharing issues, around the outside of my desk, I've installed a force field. It goes all the way up into the sky. Planes have to fly around it, and down all the way into the ground. Moles commit suicide running into it. And it goes from the edge of my desk over here all the way to my wall where my bookshelf is. There's a trash can over here. My trash can, not in my force field, because I don't care, because it's trash. If you want to play in the trash, that's your own issue. I'd say it's fine with me, but you might need help. If you look really closely, it's invisible because it's make-believe, so it's not there. But trust me, if you cross it, you'll feel it because the bad things happen to you. And the reason is, the stuff that's back here, kids have a natural superpower. Your natural superpower is that as soon as you touch things, they break. It's just what happens. I have no idea how the superpower works. It's the reason why my pencil sharpener has things holding it together, because as soon as you guys go, oh, is that a stapler? That's, I don't know what happened. And it just falls apart. So I've learned that with the stuff behind my desk. Before I had my force field, kids would come back and touch things. Like, oh, that's so, what happened? So because of that, you can't come back into my area. Now given, it's not because the things are super awesome and special, because they're all given to me by students. So they already have cooties on them because they came from kids originally. I just remember each kid that gave me those things, and I don't want them to get destroyed. If there's a thing you really want to touch, you're like, I just want to touch it so bad. Eventually become a kid that I don't hate and ask me, and I'll let you touch it. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'll let you, and then we'll put it back on there, and life will be good. So don't go behind the desk in this area. What happens if you do? Horrible things. Depends on who you are, how many points I'm going to charge you. I'm going to attack you. I've been known to come running in. I'm going to leap across the desk and just tackle the child. So don't be that kid. Usually the bigger issue will be is if you walk behind my desk when I'm sitting at my computer working on something and you guys are doing projects or like that and you have a question for me, you want to come to this side of my desk. Don't come to this side of my desk. Because if I'm working and you walk up behind me, one, you're going to startle me. So when I go, what? And I back up, I'm going to run over your feet. And if you're wearing sandals, you're probably losing a toe. It's okay, you have 9 more, but still, you only do that so many times, so you end up blocking plenty. The bigger issue is, as a teacher, I'm constantly paranoid of the student revolution, where you guys rise up and overthrow teachers and try to take the school for yourselves. So if you're behind my desk, I'm assuming the student revolution has begun, and they've sent you first as the one to take me down. So when you're behind my desk, I'm dropping you first, and I'm going after the next kid. So don't be behind my desk. It kind of freaks me out. I have issues. What? You hide them so well. Thanks. So that's my area. And don't listen to 8th graders, because they'll try to convince you to go back there because they're horrible people. And they're like, oh, he's just kidding. You can go back there. It's okay. And they'll try to convince you to go back there, and then you'll wonder why they're sitting there giggling and laughing and yelling for me to come in the room, and they'll just sit there and watch you die. So careful. Don't listen to 8th graders. They're awful. All right. That is the angering of me. The throwing of things. In my room, don't throw things at people because kids can't catch. I've been teaching long and they're like, I got it! And just right into the forehead. The only time that you can throw things is into the trash and into the recycling bin. Now, and you can't see this on here, sorry. My trash can is really small because we don't generate much trash. My trash can is this little ice cream bucket that hangs on the wall that says trash and points down to it. That's it. Because most of what you have that is trash is probably paper. And I have a gigantic paper recycling because you put it into there. Because most of what you're going to try and throw away is paper. Little broken pens and pencils can go in there. I also have plastic recycling and metal recycling and stuff like that. You can throw things as long as they go into here, and then that's absolutely fine with me. If Brandon has the mad skills to take a piece of paper and throw it and drop back and wiggle the fingers and have it go in, more power. If you miss, I charge you points though. So even if you're right next to me, you're like, dunk, and it falls off, I'm like, you're special. And so I'm going to charge you points. So keep that in mind. Which means, if you throw something at someone else, you're calling them trash. And that's mean. So now I have to charge you points for bullying. So don't throw things at other people. It just makes life easier. Unless it's going in, and there's the trash can that's over there. Once again, don't play in it unless you really want to. But there's a trash can there for bigger items, trash can there, recycling. Not having class materials, Gadur, bring your stuff to class. If I go, hey, get out your iPad, and you go, then I'm charging you points. Or if I say, tomorrow, we're going to go over the notebook that you guys brought, and you go, no, then I'm charging you points. So every time you don't have what you're supposed to, it's going to cost you the 3 points. If you don't follow the class directions, I follow you points. Essentially, this is whenever you make me come over and like have to thump you on the head and go, what are you doing? You're like, I was just staring at the wall. We're all working. And it's a fascinating wall. You're making me do extra work by having to go over and thump you on the head. I'm going to charge you for my extra work. You're going to pay me in B points. So don't make me come over and have to work because you're lazy. Missing a homework assignment. One, I don't give much homework. I do 1 or 2 assignments a week. My assignments usually take you about 15 to 20 minutes each, and that's it. Most of the stuff in my class happens in the classroom because that's where the learning is going to occur because I know I can control it. But if I do have a homework assignment, you have to do it. Here's the good news. Everybody does every homework assignment that I have. Is it because you're so awesome? I am. But it's because if you don't do my homework, I torture the bejeebers out of you until it eventually gets done. Not doing a homework assignment is simply not an option in my class because bad things happen to you. What kind of bad things? I'm glad you asked. 1, I charge you points. 3 B points every time you miss a homework assignment. And if you miss enough B points, we go straight to the detention and the torturing and stuff like that. 2, I make you do it. All homework assignments can be turned in late. Not only that, but you will keep working on it until eventually you turn it in. How are you going to make me work on it? I'm glad you asked. Only students who learn get to have desks. If you're not doing homework, you're not a student. You don't get a desk. You get to stand during class. How long are we going to stand? Until the homework gets done. How long is that? That's up to you. It should take you about 15 to 20 minutes, but some kids are special. Like, I'm going to go slow, and it's going to take you 3 or 4 days. You're special. You'll keep standing 3 or 4 days. Eventually, if you irritate me enough, then we'll have you go to lunch, and I do it. I can stand during lunch, and you get a little bowl of tears you get to eat like that to help motivate you and things like that. But eventually, it gets done. Every single one of my homework assignments gets done by every single kid. It's also why no one fails my class. Usually the minimum grade in my class is a C, just because I don't give you any other option. I teach learning to you so that eventually it's going to occur one way or the other. So you're going to get a good grade. So go you. It's just up to you how many tiers happen between you and that good grade. So missing a homework assignment. Next up, writing utensils. With the writing utensils, you're going to need to bring one every day. One pen, one pencil. You've been doing this whole bringing a pen and a pencil thing, I don't know, since forever. Same thing happens in my class. If you forget a pen or a pencil, I have pens and pencils you can get from me. You can buy them from me. I have a whole desk drawer of just pens and pencils. It's 3 points for one. If you want a fancy one, like the clicky pens or the clicky pencils, those are 5 points because they're fancy. If you want just the basic one, they're 3 points. And they're all just perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to buy one of those at any time if you forget yours. But let's say you don't have a whole lot of B points left, and you still need a writing utensil because you can't remember to bring one. I have ones you can get for free. I have ones that you can borrow from me. And the way this works is mine are high quality, scientifically designed writing utensils. So I need to get them back. In order to get my writing utensil, you're going to have to give me one of your shoes. You give me a shoe, I give you a writing utensil. At the end of class, because I want my writing utensil more than I want your shoe, you bring me back writing utensil, I give you back shoe. That way, in case you go out to the hallway, you're like, why am I walking? I'm special. And then you come back and we can do the exchange. Now, with my writing utensils, obviously the ones you've been using keep sliding through your hands because they're too slick. So the ones that I have that are scientifically designed are pre-textured to help fit your hand. Some kids call them chewed, but that sounds disgusting. I prefer to call them pre-textured. So they have little ridges all throughout them, and then that way your hand can hold on to them that much better. Mr. Brovicast, those are disgusting. Yeah, that's why I don't use them. I also don't chew them myself because I like my teeth, but kids who are apparently teething like puppies chew pens and pencils all the time. And so they just bring it like, oh, this one's, there you go. And then I put it in there, and then it's up for other kids. Mr. Brovicast, I don't ever want to use one of those. You shouldn't. They're awful. And there's an easy way to avoid ever having to use one of these. It's called bringing your own. If you have your own writing utensil, then it's not a problem. You'll never have to worry. If you don't bring your own, that's where these come in. Mr. Brovicast, can't we just borrow from someone nearby? No, you can't. Because if I catch you loaning someone a writing utensil, I get to attack you. You're robbing me of the chance of attacking a student. So that means I have to attack you. So if I find out you've loaned it to another kid, I charge you the points. So if you loan them a normal pen, 3 points. You loan them a clicky pen, 5 points. And I get to keep it as the extra punishment. We didn't even get to the best part. I'll have to save that for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll come back and finish out. And the best part about tomorrow, I'll be done talking about this so I can officially start torturing you. Corithers, before you get to leave, in what month would we have the second 9 weeks? October. Don't you steal Corithers' answer. See you tomorrow.